leaning clock tower.
So a destructive 1667 Dubrovnik earthquake. It was a city unique built during this period because it didn't have straight lines.
Crooked streets, protection, cathedral. Oh yeah. Built in, I want to say, 1166, but destroyed, I think, in 1600s. So overall, it's older than the Notre Dame. First Church, 809. St. Andreas something remains on the
organization and another their charitable organization.
Protect remains
Still the tradition of this
originally.
Remains, in the form of an annual. It's a small city with less than 500 inhabitants, but as much as 19 sea captain palaces and 22 churches, only 2 of which are Orthodox. I will explain you later why the majority of churches are Catholic. Opposite to Pera city, you will see the 2 islands. The first island that you will see is St. George, a cemetery island covered in pine and cypress trees. It is a cemetery for the nobles of the city of Pera, sometimes even called the Island of Death for this reason. Behind St. George Island, we will be able to see an artificial island of Our Lady of Rock. Originally, there stood only a 2 square meter rock before 15th century. And according to legend, 2 brothers, fishermen from Perast, found a picture of Our Lady. One of the brothers was very ill at the time, and as they took the picture to their home in Perast, next morning when they got up, this brother that was ill got miraculously well, and for this miracle that they experienced for salvation of this brother, they decided to build a consecrating church on this point where they found the picture. As I said, only a 2 square meter rock. They put more rocks, stones around it, and built a small island in 15th century, and later throughout 16th, 17th centuries by putting more rocks around and even sinking ships, all pirate or enemy ships. They sunk here to make the island bigger. They constructed a church of the size of today and the appearance of today in 17th century, enlarging the surface area of the island at, I think, 307 square meters of surface. So as you pass by the islands, you will make it to the narrowest strait here in Boca Bay, the Strait of Verigay. Verigay is an ancient word for chain. And the reason for this name of this strait is because people of Perast used to protect the city of Kotor, the rich port of Kotor, by putting chains in between the coastlines. They would lift the chains whenever enemy or pirate ships tried to enter this strategically important part of the bay. And that's why Perast developed into a rich city, because they had good protective role in Kotor's history and were paid good money, especially by Venetians, to protect the city. So throughout the 17th and 18th century, it developed into a very rich town, which today has the most expensive real estate in Montenegro. 3,000 euros is the average price. 3,000 euros per square meter is the average price of real estate in the small city of Perast. On the opposite part of the bay is the so-called Risan Bay, called by the city of Risan, in which today you can find some Roman and Illyrian remains. It was a Illyrian city built by Queen Teuta, who was later conquered by Romans, because Illyrians were very notorious pirates who often attacked Roman and Greek ships. So the great state of Rome sent legions into Boca Bay, and they entered first time here in 168, conquering Illyrian queen Teuta and building their own city right here. So the first city built by Romans in the Boca Bay was in fact on the opposite part, in 2nd century before Christ, on the ruins of the destructed city of Illyrians, and you can still find mosaics of the god of sleep Hypnos inside, very well preserved remains of these mosaics. And then later, in 1st century, they built the city on, where we are now, the city of Kotor. Then you will make it to the largest part of Boca Bay, Tivat Bay. Named by the city of Tivat, most densely populated in the area, 307 people per square kilometer. One of the two Montenegrin international airports, only 15 minutes of drive through the tunnel of Vrmat. This mountain peninsula is called Vrmat and separates Kotor of Tivat Bay. So you have an international airport in Tivat, 15 minutes from port of Kotor, and the beautiful mega yacht marina called Porto Montenegro, constructed in 2005, that accommodates pleasure vessels between 450 between 12 and 150 meters on length, and there is more than 450 berths for this yacht. You will see the island of Saint Marco. It used to be a French resort called the Club Mediterranee here, and maybe you will be able to see from a distance the small island of dedicated to Our Lady, the Kotor, named by the church of the same name. Then, as you make it through this channel, you will see on the left side tunnels made within the mountain. Those are submarine hiding places built by Social Federative Republic of Yugoslavia's army during the Second World War. They were hiding places for submarines. The submarines were entered this tunnel, and then they were covered the entrance with green in order to blend it with the environment, not to be seen from above, from planes or from other ships, enemy ships. Then as you make it through Kumbor Channel, you'll be able to see Orient Mountain on the right side, the rainiest mountain in Montenegro. It is slightly higher than Lovćen Mountain, and on the other side is Bosnia and Croatian territory, a little bit towards the south. The rainiest place in Orient Mountain is called Crkvice, and it's the rainiest place in Europe. While on the foot of Mount Orient, the city of Herceg-Novi, that you will be able to see just before exiting the bay, is the sunniest place in Montenegro and one of the sunniest in Europe. So rainiest place in Europe and one of the sunniest cities in Europe, in just a couple of kilometers away. And then, as you make it through this passage, you will be leaving Prevlaka Peninsula here, which is Croatian territory. So Croatia is from the city of Kotor. There is 1 hour and a half of drive to the city of Dubrovnik. 1 hour closer to 2 hours of drive, and the international airport of Čiliku. On the left side, you will be able to see this tiny island with the Austro-Hungarian prison Mamula. It is a notorious prison similar to Alcatraz because it was a very well protected prison built during the 100 years of the rule between 1813 and end of First World War. It was also used in First and Second World War for keeping prisoners, rebels from this area. It is a very notorious prison surrounded by circle of mines, so it was practically inescapable, and you could not come and rescue someone with the ship because it was very well guarded. Today it's deserted, inhabited only by small lizards, seagulls and rabbits, and it's a very interesting island to see. If you like to see the inside of Mamula fortress, you can watch some scenes. You don't have to watch all the scenes of the horror movie called Mamula. It is a low-budget American movie that is filmed on this particular island because the fortress itself is very, creepy looking. So they chose it to make this horror movie. It's a low-budget movie. It's not a good quality movie, but you get to see the inside of this very interesting fortress. So for Boca Bay, I wanted to show you how it looks, what you will see as you go. And on this side, a little more encompassing map of Montenegro century. So a city plan in the 13th century, and a notary office as far back as 14th century. So very early it developed into a modern system. I mentioned before, you'll be able to see. So in this and these
Mostly Turkish. Mostly Turkish.
Jakartari, Yatagani, and Kubura. It's hard to remember, so probably won't remember it, but I'm required to tell you. And, this, you probably do not know this, but Montenegrin people are second tallest nation in the world.
Which explorer was it that you said sailed around the world and ended up here?
Ivo Viking. Ivo Viking. It's the guy over here.
That one didn't ring a bell. Okay.
I was raised in Kotor.
Ivo Viking.
Raised in Kotor. It's the city on the opposite side of the peninsula, the largest part of Boka Bay. So on the other side of the mountain, characteristic Orthodox people.
Greek Square, 2 Orthodox churches.
The other church is historically more interesting. It is St. Luca Church, after which the square bears name St.
Church that used to have 2 altars, tiny church, had 2 altars, one for a Christian or a Catholic and one for Eastern Orthodox after refugees came from someplace. Eastern Orthodox Church off one of the squares. Church of St. Luke, I think, or St. Clair. Must be St. Clair. This is the other gate. I don't want to call it. I don't know which gate. It's on the map near St. Mary.
No.